The first of its kind summit attracted about 1,000 global leaders and industry players. The summit will unlock the full potential of the hydrogen opportunity in Africa and harness its projected impact on achieving a sustainable and equitable energy transition globally.
We know that this journey for Namibia has been a long and short journey. We remember when I started in this role, and maybe just before I started towards the end of 2020, it's probably the first time I met somebody who told me something about hydrogen. And then since then, it has been what I think maybe you will call it a roller coaster, because it has been a very fast journey.
The Global Summit started with a panel discussion which included the Ministers of Energy and experts in the field of green hydrogen. They highlighted the potential within the green hydrogen industry and challenges of infrastructure and capital investment.
We in Europe, we don't have the vast natural resources that Africa has as a continent. And the challenge in this journey is that everyone can remain in charge of its own wealth. And so this cannot be just an asking policy. Like, okay, we need huge volumes of tons of hydrogen. This needs to be an inclusive policy, as you said, really a team approach. And so it's crucial that Africa will remain in charge of its vast natural resources, its sun, its wind, its minerals, but also its people, a young population, smart minds, who will need jobs, who will work on bringing this welfare to the continent.
I believe that Namibia is one of those undervalued stock, and as an investor, is a good time to invest. The fundamentals are right in Namibia, and by fundamentals I mean the resources, the natural resources, whether it's land, renewables, or minerals. The political stability is there as a key fundamental, and the clarity of purpose that's been demonstrated by the government. And I think with those fundamentals, it's then overlaid by challenges. But acknowledging those challenges and dealing with those challenges is what we've been impressed with Namibia. Challenges been cost of capital. The obvious challenges, again, been infrastructure gap, social engagement, but also access to demand centers. So we see that Namibia is going about things in the right way. We are very convinced at this point in time that the strides that we see Namibia making, particularly in economic diplomacy.
Take agreement you spoke about, that's important. The financing is important. And the discussion sometimes about what comes first. Do you first have to have off-take agreement before you produce, or do you have to have a financing before you do? But I think both are all important, therefore we need to probably promote at the same time, because without an off-take agreement, of course, I cannot produce it. Without having a production, of course, I can't have an agreement as well. So, but I think this is a real discussion. Hopefully we can continue to engage. And I also hope that as in our discussions, we also already start to really bring on board, fully on board, the development finance institutions, because we need to have this blended financing in order for us to reduce the cost of capital that we know is much high if you're only going to embrace private sector capital.
The role played by the late President Dr. Hage Geingob in the establishment of green hydrogen energies was also highlighted during the summit.
I used to tease my husband a lot and called him Hydrogen Hage. And he would get cross with me. And he would say, no, in this country we believe in systems, processes, institutions. This is a government program. It's not an individual program. Correct. So speaking as somebody who did deploy private sector capital into the economy, the excitement for me is really that we utilized pension fund money, but we didn't have the opportunity to create new jobs. It wasn't really fresh capital. We weren't really doing any socio-economic transformation. And when you're developing new industries, it's fresh capital. You really have an opportunity not only to look at issues around climate change.
The two-day summit is held under the theme, From Ambition to Action, Fueling Africa's Green Industrial Revolution. Selima Henok, Business Today, Windhoek.